Hey Bricks, it's Brickley here and welcome to Set Saturday, and in today's video we're going to review the LEGO Mirkwood Elf Army Set number 79012, and you actually get 6 minifigures in this set, 2 of them being the orcs, the Gundabad orcs, and 4 of them being the elves, and you actually get Thranduil, you get 2 regular elven soldiers and 1 with an elven blade. And the minifigure selection in this set is quite great, so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the minifigures. Starting on the left with the Gundabad orcs, you can see that we get 2 of the same Gundabad orcs. These have the same torso printing, but different weapons. So this one has a spear, and this is a sort of commander with this armor on his shoulders, and then we get this regular Gundabad orc with a sword. And if we look a little bit closer to the Gundabad orc, you can see some printing on his torso showing bones and quite nice detail with a sort of necklace on his torso and some makeup on his facial expression. He doesn't have a second facial expression, but he does have some hair on the back of his head and some other detailing, and then a sort of spine on his torso printing, which is also quite nice. So overall, it's a great minifigure. Looking at Thranduil, we have this nice headpiece. It is an awesome mold, and I gotta say that this mold is pretty good for the year 2013 or 14, I believe this set was released. But you get this facial expression over here, which is quite serious, a nicely detailed sort of emerald look on his torso, and of course on the leg printing you also see that the robe continues down onto his legs. He has a regular sword. That's unfortunate because LEGO could have made an elven sword for this minifigure, but nonetheless it is a great minifigure. Looking on the second facial expression of this minifigure, he is quite mad, and as you can see, this is a frequent expression for elves, which we will see in a minute. But looking underneath his red cape, you can see that his robe continues also on the back torso, which is awesome printing, so I definitely love this minifigure a lot. So, looking at the first elf, and I think this is an elven commander actually. I'm gonna grab that one right here. You can see that this minifigure also is quite great. He does have the regular elven face, as do the other 3 elves. And the printing on these minifigures is exactly the same, so I'm only going to be looking at them once. So you get this printing over here, quite nice printing, and of course the head mold for the elf, so you can really customize your elves if you are planning on building a Rivendell, and I certainly am building Rivendell, so that's quite a nice addition. Looking at the back, you can really see that standard elven facial expression. Quite a great minifigure. And of course the back torso is also quite nice. You can see that the torso really continues on the back over here. As you can see with this printing, and the leg printing also is quite great on this minifigure. So overall it's a great minifigure, and as I said before, it is exactly the same as these 2, but the other 2 only have those robes and quivers on them, so that's the only difference. So overall it's a great minifigure selection, and the addition of the warg over here is also amazing. You can see that the warg is such a great mold for this theme, and you get the jaw, which can go up and down, so that's nice. And I think the mold is just great. And I remember back when I was young, I was rewatching these designer videos on these minifigures and these wargs because they were just so addictive to look at. And I remember getting this set the first time, and I was so happy with this brown colored warg. I actually lost the pieces which are supposed to fit in right here to make it a wild warg without the saddle on it, but I only use them in army form, so that's really not that big of a problem. So yeah, these are all the figures and of course the animals in this set. So let's go ahead and get back to the set itself. And looking at the set, you can really see that it is a nice build. The leather over here is also quite nice. I do like these sort of clips over here, which you can, well, equip around the wall, if you know what I mean. So you have the wall right over here. And what you're gonna need to do is grab your ladder, put it around the wall, and then make it stick so it can't be pushed off. And that's sort of what they used in the Helm's Deep set. I'm gonna get that ladder right now. Looking at the Helm's Deep set, they sort of designed this piece right here in 2012. You can see, but it doesn't really work that well. So you're gonna put it like that, and it really won't stick that well. So I think that these pieces really are an improvement. Well, they were back in that day. So that was a great improvement for ladders, so they couldn't be kicked off by other LEGO minifigures. And then moving on to the build itself, you of course first get this sort of elfish weapons stash. And I remember that if you collected 4 of these sets, you could actually create a sort of round weapon stash. And talking about that, I actually got 4 of these, so this is what it looks like. You can actually combine these right over here. Oh, gotta first combine them like this, so you can combine them into a singular round weapon stash, as you can see, which is quite nice. You can put a piece on top if you want to stabilize it, make sure that the gaps between the sets don't show. But I think it is quite a nice sort of addition that you can collect more of these battle packs and just create your own elven kingdom. So yeah, that's what I did back in the day. Quite a nice build as well, with of course the minifigure over here. So I'm quite happy with that. And then looking to the build itself, we're gonna see some awesome shields. So you can actually just remove them and maybe even add them to your elven army, which is quite a nice idea. So you can just use them for Mirkwood shields, or maybe even the Battle of the 5 Armies if you want some elves fighting next to Thranduil. But they won't be that accurate, because the elves in the Battle of the 5 Armies actually use other armor. So yeah, but looking at the build itself, you can really see some leaves, and of course we have this flick firing missile over here, so you can just shoot that. And you can disconnect this tree from the wall and maybe put it on the other side if you want to. So that's also quite a nice feature. Looking on the tree itself, you can see this little crate over here, and it actually contains some emeralds over here. So a green translucent stud and a green emerald. So you can just put it in there and stash it away for old Thranduil. And you actually get this other function where you can put this elf right over here. Let's make him look angry, and you can put him over here on the top. And what you're gonna do is smash on this lever right here, which will shoot him away. So there he goes, and that's what you're gonna do with your elves when you're fighting the orc army. That's what the set will want you to do, but I just use it for display, and of course my elven army for the Hobbit. So overall, this is a great set. You get a ton of awesome minifigures. You get the ability to create this round elven weapon stash, and you can actually create one singular elven fortress, which I'm gonna show you right now. So as you can see, I got my orc army invading Mirkwood, and I combined all 4 of my Mirkwood Elf Army sets, and this is actually what it looks like. I sort of built some sets invertedly, so that's why these leaves are facing this way and the other ones this way. So I got my small Gundabad Orc army, actually got a couple more, but I'm just setting these up. And I got my Elven army defending Mirkwood. So this is actually what it looks like from the top of the build. So this is quite nice to see in action. So yeah, this is what you can do with this set. And looking on the instruction, you can see that it's quite a nice instruction booklet. You have the sort of detailing of the desolation of Smaug here in front of Erebor, I think it is. And then looking on the back, you have this minifigure collection sheet, which is also nice. You can mark your minifigures, and it is actually quite a nice instruction. And what I want to show you is that you could collect 2 of these back in a day, where you could create this elven wall. So that is actually everything you can do with this set. So if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like. Of course, go subscribe to Bricklink and ring that notification bell if you want to see more of these type of videos. And I'll see you all in the next one.